Welcome to How to Study and Ace Examinations, presented by Robert Klah, curated from my three-part book, What the Schools Fail to Teach About Education, proudly brought to you by Strap, in association with the Rotary Club of Accra Industrial and the United Nations Youth Association of Ghana. Previously in this course, we looked at study technique, that is effective ways of learning with comprehension. Speed reading, that is how to read more materials in less time with comprehension. How to commit things to memory. Techniques for committing different study materials to memory. How to answer questions. Ever seen a clever student fail? Well, that's because examinations always have their own rules and we need to understand them in order to be able to excel. Reasons why students exclaim, "It is difficult!" Our interest is not just the problems, but the hidden reasons why people exclaim it is difficult. In this session, we are going to learn study tips. We are going to be looking at smart ways on how to be able to study for success. Session 6, Study Tips. Study tips are great ways to organize your study life and of course help you optimize your performance. As a matter of fact, it helps you make smarter decisions and helps you avoid pitfalls. All right. Now, in my book, What the Schools Fail to Teach About Education, Part 3 to be specific, I discuss over 30 of these tips. But here today, we're going to have a conversation on 15 tips and I hope they are helpful to you. If you're ready to learn, I'm ready to teach. Let's go. Tips connected to mindset. So the first one is this. If for whatever reason, for whatever case, for some strange reason, you don't know or you may have forgotten what the role of a student is, then I'm here to say the single most important and focus of every student in school should be 1, to attend class, 2, to learn or study, and 3, to ace examinations. Everything and anything else comes second or third or secondary. That is it. Be clear and be focused. Point number 2, be a student verb, not a student noun. See, a verb is a doing word, all right? So a verb is about action. So if you're a student verb, it means you're a student who takes action to ensuring that he gets his education on point, he is able to attend class, he is able to learn, and he is able to ace his exams. A student noun is, a noun is like a name, it's a title. So basically you're just carrying the name of a student for carrying sake, but that's not what we want. We want students who take action as opposed to students who just enjoy the title without taking action. Students who are just lazy and hoping that things will just happen for them. No, it's not going to work. So let's get it straight. Be a student verb, not a student noun. Point number 3, make friends, mingle with people, bond with people, whatsoever you want to do, that's fine. But always make sure you have this at the back of your mind. You came to school alone, you're going to leave alone. You have your own dreams, you have your own direction, you have your own paths to pursue. Do not let anybody sway you under any form of peer pressure, sway you from your focus and your targets. Always have in mind the reason why you were in school and never let anybody sway you off that objective. It is important. Classroom tips. Don't be scared to ask questions. A lot of people out there who are scared to ask questions, they are in class, they have issues bothering them, they need clarification, they are not asking questions. They're probably asking somebody on the side and they're not getting the true material or the kind of information that they are supposed to be getting, all because they're failing to ask the teacher. The teacher is not the devil, and the teacher is not, it's not like going to imprison you for asking questions. It's not like they're going to punish you because you're asking a question. No, come on, guys, please. Please ask questions, all right? You are in school, you've paid staff to be there. You are there to learn. You are there to give your all. Ask questions when you need to ask questions, and do not let anything whatsoever prevent you from engaging your teacher so that you can learn. Go to the class with a purpose to understand what is taught. Sometimes some people just allow classes to go on and on and on and on, and then all they keep on saying is, oh yeah, I'll learn later. No. If you're going to sit in a class anyway, you might as well make it purposeful. If you can learn something from the class, there's no point for you to just wait and go and learn later. Yes, you can learn later and you may get it, but make the experience twice. One from the class so you can engage a teacher, and then the later on study should be something that reinforces what you have learned so that it sticks more. All right, do not waste your class hours in the name of you're going to learn later. Once you are in the class, make it count. Never go into class without revising notes from your last session. So you were taught something last week, and you're going to go into class this week. It's going to be a continuation. The teacher is going to take it to the next level. If you don't sort out the fundamentals of what you learned last week, it becomes difficult for you to build upon it. So what you need to do, if you want to be able to learn more, understand more, and become better, what you need to do is learn, revise before you get to the class. Before you get to class, revise everything that you have been taught, so that whatever comes in new, whatever comes in fresh, you can just keep adding to it. When you compound stuff like that, it becomes difficult for you to be able to make sense out of it, and it's also not a judicious use of your time. So here's the deal: never go to class without revisiting or without revising the things that you did in your previous session. It is important. Now, if you want to be in the league of the smart kids, never go to class without reading ahead. Reading ahead simply means you get to the class and you have an idea of what the teacher is going to teach. You have an idea, the conversations. As a matter of fact, what would even be good is if you came to the class with some questions. In that case, the teacher teaches, and then you have the ability to be able to engage the teacher in conversation, meaningful conversation. That is what elite students do. So if you want to get into that league, what you need to do is very simple. Always read ahead of the class, and then step into the class with some confidence and have a proper conversation, educational conversation with the teacher. And that is going to make you certainly a good student. Finally, for classroom tips, do not let what you dislike about a teacher prevent you from learning what you need to learn from the teacher. Yes, you may not like a teacher's way of speaking, or the teacher's dressing, or the teacher's mannerisms whatsoever, but that should not prevent you from learning what you're supposed to learn from the class. Once you're in the class, be smart. Learn whatever you can from the teacher, whoever he or she may be. Learn as much as possible. Don't let any of these things that you like or dislike be a hindrance. Even roses come with thorns, and we still accept them and use them for whatever purpose we want to use them. So yes, be smart and don't allow these things to be a hindrance or get in the way. Self-study tips. When a topic is taught, learn or revise it the same day. So here's the deal. You hear something new today, all right? Do not wait for like 1 week or 2 weeks to go back to it. You might just forget about it, because when something is introduced to you fresh or for the first time, it doesn't stick that much. If you're not familiar with it, it will not stick. So what you need to do is to get back to it immediately, and then you will be in a position to be able to keep it in mind. That's what you do. If you read about it and you still don't get it, you can read, from external sources just to be able to get another perspective on the same subject. But when you do that immediately, it helps you commit it to memory, and then, it gives you a better understanding of the whole subject. And of course, it makes you a better student. So work with that. Never limit your knowledge to what you learn in a classroom. So every master or every teacher, whatsoever you want to call them, when they teach you, everything they give you is always a component of the entire knowledge. You understand? When you teach somebody, you're not going to be able to teach the person everything. But if you're supposed to become a master of that particular subject, then you as a student need to learn as much as possible. So the teacher has taught you, but don't limit your knowledge to what you learned from the classroom. The textbooks are there, extra reading materials can also be found, research can be done. Read as much as possible, acquaint yourself, become a master in a particular field. Because ultimately, remember, when you're going to be tested by external examiners, you're going to be tested as a pro. So if you are going to learn this and become a master in it. Do not limit yourself, and that's what it is. Create a timetable for yourself. It is one of the ways to show you're a serious student, and it is one of the ways to be able to use your time profitably. You are in school to study, and so clearly, if you have a study planning table or if you have a timetable at the end of the day, it becomes easier for you to be able to manage your time and the subjects or content you're supposed to be studying. So create one and stick with it. Create a study planning table or a timetable for your entire syllabus. Now, this is something that most people don't know. See, you are in school to study an entire syllabus, and the examiners are going to ask you questions based on these things that are within the syllabus. So one of the things you need to do is to get a copy of everything you're supposed to be learning within that particular course, and then create a study table. That's like something that transcends timetable. Like, it's supposed to be like the next level of a timetable. So it covers the entire 3-year course. And then work hard every time. Try as much as possible to cover everything within the syllabus. Because at the end of the day, if you don't study hard, the examiners wouldn't know or if you have covered everything in the syllabus or not. But you know that these guys are going to set questions, and you want to ace your examination. So come on, do the right thing, do the smart thing by setting up your own study schedule and stick to it. Exams tips. Ahead of each test, test yourself. If you are able to test yourself, it prepares you for whatever examination is coming ahead. So go ahead and test yourself first. Take every test or examinations as a World Cup tournament. In other words, be extremely serious. You see, it is only when you're serious with your test and exams that it actually comes back to you as something that prepares you for your main exams. But if you're going to play with the exams, then at the end of the day, the experience is not the same, and you are likely not to be able to get the best out of it. All right. So take every exam seriously, give it your all, and make sure that that particular experience builds you up for the incoming exams. And finally, make it a habit to review your examination papers, whatsoever it may be. Review with your teachers, review on your own, review with question papers, review with any authority you can find, review with friends. Baseline review. Look out for mistakes, see how you can make them better. Look out for what you answered, see if you can improve them. Look at what you aced and put that in your mind that this is how it is done, and stick to it. So basically, review, become better, and progress. To recap, study tips. In conclusion, these are tips for mindset, for classroom, for prep or self-study, for tests or exams. And all the information is available to you. But this information, guess what? It will do you no good if you do not put it to use, if you don't practice them. So do yourself a favor and practice. Jolali. Thank you for participating in the course How to Study and Ace Examinations, presented by Klah, curated from my 3-part book, What the Schools Fail to Teach About Education, proudly brought to you by Strap, in association with the Rotary Club of Accra Industrial and the United Nations Youth Association of Ghana.